evening, folks. Welcome. Good evening, folks, and welcome. Assalamu alaikum. It is a pleasure to have everyone here. I'm doing my best to be polite, but the sunset will not wait for us. They have to be ready. So I will begin. It's a pleasure to have everyone here on Treaty 7 territory, home of the Blackfoot Confederacy of the Siksika, the Kainai, the Piikani, as well as the Tina, the Stoney Nakoda nations of Bears Paw, Cherokee, and Wesley. This area also has deep importance to the people of the Métis nations of Alberta and Region 3. As long as the sun shines, the wind blows, and the water flows, we will honor these lands. It's an honor to be part of this Iftar celebrations with all of you. It's wonderful to have you here at the Center. Recognizing and sharing the diversity of cultures in this province is key to building a stronger future for all of us and all of our children. Tonight, we will hear from some representatives from Alberta's government. Our guests tonight include the Honourable Danielle Smith, Premier of Alberta, the Honourable Jason Milan, Minister of Culture, the Honourable Mickey Amory, Minister of Children's Services, the Honourable Rajan Sani, Minister of Trade, Immigration and Multiculturalism, Parliamentary Secretary for Community Outreach, Mohammed Yassin, and Parliamentary Secretary for Multiculturalism, Devinder Tour. I think I saw him. There he is. Good. I'd also like to acknowledge Imam Abdul Rahman Khattab, who will be saying prayers to break the fast. And it is my pleasure at this point to introduce the Honourable Danielle Smith, the Premier of this great province.
He was a lot more direct with me. He said, if we're not done and the mic isn't in the Imam's hand by 8:14, you're in real trouble. So let me see if I've got my watch here, so I'm going to make sure that I stay on, keep us on time. Assalamu alaikum and Ramadan Mubarak to all of you. When I had an Iftar dinner in Edmonton, I cheated a little bit and I had soup before. But I really cheated today. I actually had a McDonald's McChicken. I'm sorry, I was weak today. I will make sure that I'm fasting with you next time when we do this next year. But I do want to thank Rick McIver for his generous introduction, for all the great work he does in Calgary Hayes, and thank him as well for being such a friend to the Muslim community in Calgary. I know he has advocated on your behalf. MLAs and ministers from our United Conservative team able to join us. We have Mickey Amory, we've got Jason Luan, Rajan Sani, Mohammed Yassin, and Devinder Tour. So nice to see all of you here this evening. I am honored and privileged to be here with you tonight as we come together to celebrate the holy month of Ramadan. I'm truly humbled by the opportunity to be here with you on this evening as we break the fast. Ramadan is a time to reflect upon the importance of discipline and devotion, humility and sacrifice, and to reaffirm the bonds that draw communities together. I appreciate you sharing your time with me during this special period. Your hospitality is the true spirit of Islam. And I'm glad to say that the Ummah is vital to Alberta's identity. We often talk about family, faith, freedom, and community as cornerstones of Alberta's identity. These are all principles that Albertans cherish and values that we all share. And the act of sharing a meal together is a simple but powerful statement of these shared values. When I started in this role, I met with some friends from Edmonton's Muslim community to hear about the issues important to them as Albertans, as members of the Muslim community. There's a couple of things they told me. One is that there are two states in the United States, Maine and New York, that have found a way to allow for members of different faith communities to choose their days off for statutory holidays. So I'm looking for a way that we might be able to do that here for your community, for those who celebrate the Diwali, for those who celebrate. I'll tell you something we're making a little bit more progress on as well, that Dr. Habibi had mentioned to me, is that I learned that the Islamic faith does not permit you to pay interest charges to a bank, as opposed to you are allowed to pay a service fee. We would never want anyone to be unable to achieve the dream of home ownership or owning a business. So we're listening and we're taking action. The government of Alberta is working with the Alberta Council of Imams and the Alberta Chief Mosque to discuss the potential of such a financing program. And we already have the mechanism in place. Alberta's regulatory sandbox could help a financial institution introduce halal financing in an expedited and safe way as it tests a new product for your community. Make the legislative and regulatory changes for Alberta financial institutions to be able to operate or offer halal financing. I know how important this would be to you, so we continue to work on this important financial product so that it can be available as quickly as possible. And to some people, that may seem like a minor change, but to many Muslim Albertans like yourselves, I know what a difference it will make. When I was at the Iftar dinner in Edmonton, I had one mom come up to me and she said, "My son is 40 years old. Are you telling me this will happen? Because I want him to be able to own a home." And I think that's going to be very important to make sure that we make these kinds of changes. It's a win for Alberta's Muslim community. It will be a win for our economy. And it will be something that our government and the Muslim community will have done together. As Premier, I'm truly blessed to be able to advocate on behalf of communities like yours and some of the hardest working people in the country. So making Alberta an easier place to practice and live by your faith is an important part of my job, and making all Albertans feel secure and at home. Thank you so much for your genuine friendship. May you continue to have a blessed Ramadan, and I'm looking forward to breaking the fast together with you this evening. Assalamu alaikum.
That was right on the dot. Hopefully I can match that. In the name of Allah, the most merciful and the most gracious. I can't go to speak as he did, but when we as Muslims think of Ramadan, Ramadan for us is an isolation room. Spiritually speaking, not physically, so don't go and lock yourself in a room. Speaking about the isolation, we get to isolate ourselves from all the distraction that goes outside and try to focus on our connection to God. And not just isolate from all these distractions outside, we even isolate from our own self, that side of evilness that lies in ourselves. You cut your food, your drink, your anger, your bad habits, your smoking, your vaping, and all of the rest of the things that would leave you to focus on the physical side of yourself, and you just figure out who you really are. And that's what real fasting is about. This is why when we think of fasting, we come to a realization that fasting in Ramadan teaches us that no matter how much you leave your food and your drink, if it's not going for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the sake of God, this would be useless. Ramadan comes to teach us that no matter how much you fill your life with joy and entertainment and pleasure, there will always be a void in the heart. A void somewhere in the soul, a gap that can never be filled without a connection to a one and only God. Ramadan comes and teaches us that no matter how much you're surrounded by people, friends and communities, loneliness will manage to sneak to your heart at the end of the night if you're lacking the connection with God. This is what Ramadan comes and teaches us. I'm one of the people who hate sickness. And no matter how much you feel now strong and independent and wealthy, all what it takes is a flu. It's a little silly and ridiculous virus that can put you to bed on bed for 5 or 4 nights. I always hated sickness. I have this iPhone for me about a year ago, and it didn't break, not even once. I got flu probably 4 times last year. And I was wondering to myself, was the creation of Steve Jobs smarter than creation of a God? But this is how God introduces himself to us. Through our weaknesses, through our flaws, through our buggles. This is why you find the Bedouin when he gets lost in the desert, or the pirate when he gets lost in the ocean, the first spot that he looks at is top in the sky. Probably he doesn't know what's there in the sky. He doesn't know the name of the God he's asking for. He doesn't know who's there, but there is something there. And what leads him to look up there is the instinct inside of him. Al-fitrah. And this is what Ramadan comes to teach us. Reconnect with Allah, reconnect with the God, and try to find yourself through that connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It teaches us to focus on ourselves rather than others, to judge ourselves before judging others. Thank you so much. Jazakumullah khair, and ask Allah to bless this beautiful gathering. It was about inshallah 2 minutes, and we'll break our iftar. Then we'll ask Brother inshallah Abdullah Wahid to come and make the adhan inshallah. Barakallahu feekum.
I guess I didn't need to worry. The Imam gave us 2 extra minutes. Thank you very much. Imam Abdul Rahman Khattab. It was, now we're right on time. Beautiful. We'll just wait till the 2 minutes, right? Because,
oh, you can say something.
say something? All right. Please. I got someone's bell again.
So, I'm sure you've all heard the adhan on TV and in many places, but I want to take a minute before Inshallah we call it to explain the significance of the adhan. Our sisters and brothers in Christianity use the bells to call people to prayer, and our brothers and sisters in the Jewish faith use the horn. And subhanAllah, Muhammad, our Prophet, decided to use the human voice to call prayer. So that is the meaning of the adhan in Turkish. There's many different ways you can call the adhan. We have an area called maqams. A maqam is a musical scale. There's different ways you can call the adhan. We have about 14 different maqams, the hijaz, the bayati, the rast, the sayda, the sab. These are all different maqams that are used in the recitation of the Quran as well as in musical instruments like the oud, which is the grandfather of the lute, used in Shakespearean plays, I'm sure you've seen. So the adhan basically is saying God is great, God is great. There is no deity worthy of worship except Allah. And Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. Come to prayer, come to prayer, come to success, come to success. So that is the quick translation of the adhan that inshallah we should be doing in, now's my time in here, about a minute. So that's the best I can do to film. So
Let's take thank you. And it's now 8:14.
Okay.
There you go. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. Thank you. Enjoy your breakfast. Our breakfast actually is breakfast in the evening.
fast is broken. At this point, I would invite guests who wish to participate in the prayers. Please move to the area next to the, no, I'm told, actually, there's a place for the women's prayers in the Ghost Pine Room over that way, and the men's prayers in the sick room. Okay, if you don't know where that is, there'll be people around the exits that can tell you where that is. And then the commencement of prayers, attendees can also proceed to the buffet for the meal. And we will be back to talk to you in a few minutes.
Mrs. Khan, Assalamu alaikum. How are you, sister? Nice to see you.
First floor for the men.
You too.
Last time I saw
Yeah.
How are you?
Brother Knight.
Ladies are upstairs.
Oh yeah, it's on the, this is my better half.
First floor for the men. Ladies are in the Ghost Pine upstairs.